Welcome back to SHQ NFT Gaming and Collectibles. I am Gank, and I'm going to be walking through the initial setup of our 3 plots of land for the that are dedicated to the stream. So it's a good tutorial for initial setup for land. First, we're going to click on the land icon, which is right up here at the top of the screen on the sign-in page. That's going to take us to the land setup. So for today, for the video purposes, we have 50,000 DEC to utilize over our 3 plots of land. So that will kind of wanted to set this up as like, the average user so that you can kind of get a idea of how to approach land and just the basics of how to. So here we go. We have you can see my plots 3. And we want to click on this. This will then bring down the tracks. And once you click on that, then one of the tracks, then it'll bring up these other things so that you can also narrow it down even more if you have a lot of plots. But once it gets to here, I like to click over here so it itemizes everything. You can see that it's just showing our one plot in track 9, and these are our other 2 plots in track 8. I should also mention that all 3 of these plots were donated to the stream by Druids, and much appreciated. And that any NFT totem, piece of totem, any cards, whatever comes in the future that comes from this land is going to be given to one of our will be prizes for our members on our YouTube stream. So it's going to become a perk of membership that you can just win NFTs from our land plots here. All right, so first things first is that we need to set up and deposit our DEC into the land. And what does that mean? Well, first we have to, I don't have to click that. Just click over here. This is the basic layout of the land. You see it's undeveloped, so it needs to be cleared. And this is where you would start to clear. So here we clicked on the add Rooney. You need to have this powered up so that you can put workers here. So if you have a Rooney, you don't need to add a core. And if you have a Rooney, you also don't have to deposit any DEC for your workers. So you could have 5 workers that would normally take 10,000 DEC staked to work each, and save that for a different plot, because that 50,000 DEC is waived when you have a Rooney on the plot. So since we don't have any Roonies, but we do need it powered up, we're going to need to buy these power cores for our plots. So of our 50,000 DEC, this is going to be where we spend some of it. And then now you can see I have quantity 1. So to actually put it there, we're just going to slide that over to the right. And now these are powered up. So I can save this. It's not doing anything because it's there's no workers on there, so it's not going to start developing. But now I'm saving my power core as active on the power source is equipped. So now if I since I saved it, if I back out of this screen, it's saved. I go back. But if I don't save it there, or if I add workers and don't save it, if you back out of the screen, it's not going to be saved. You have to save it after each time. So you can speculate. You can kind of click here and see what your options here. So here you can see this is what I have in this account right now. So these are the possible workers I can put on this plot. And you can see the production right now. It's being shown by production value per hour. And you can see these adjustments depending on the plot. Certain so where I'm looking for colors of cards, like for earth, green, fire, red, have bonuses, whether positive or negative. And the negatives are usually minus 50%. The positives are usually plus 10%, but there's a few where it's just plus 5%. So here you see the ones in red. This would not be ideal plots for this. You'd rather utilize, cards that are getting their bonus added to their production. 10% adds up, especially over months. So here, energy is the amount I have to stake for this particular card. So, this card has 2,500 production, but it's cost 10,000. Meanwhile, this one has 1,400 production. It only is going to cost me 3,200 DEC to stake it. And there's a couple 2,400 DECs to stake down here that add about 1,000. So this is where, trying to figure out how to maximize and work with what you got comes into play. Okay, so we're going to keep in mind that it's going to cost me another 5,000 each for the other two plots to add cores to. So that will take us down to 35,000. So I'm gonna have to decide whether maybe we only start 2 plots now, or we'll do 3, and just spread things out a little more, something like that. So I can kind of play around with this, but right now I have no DEC staked into my land. So I am going to have to add that into my land here before I save workers to the land, because then you want to have the correct amount of DC or more staked into the land before you add workers, because if you do it afterwards, if you have plots already going, it will force a harvest, and it just might not be an ideal situation. So here we have, I have 45,640, but I want to save 10,000 for cores right now. So I'm just going to add the remaining 35,640, and we're going to stake that to land. So now I can stake monsters that total up to 35,600 into the land, and they'll be working at 100%. Now, if I have less DEC staked into the land than I have workers working, then they'll just be working at a lower rate than their maximum, depending on whatever percentage you're short. They'll be working at that shorter amount. All right, so here, the one thing I want to definitely make sure that these ones that are in green and are like good value, since I know I have a limited amount of DEC staked, so I want to kind of think about value and not just maximum production, because I can't afford to stake all of these cards right now as far as the amount of DEC we have to work with for this video. So I'm looking at these. Oh, we had 2 of these Pellicore. So here, this is just so that this Pellicore Arbalist, since I actually have 2 of them that are 7 BCX gold cards. And so that's what that 2 means there. So once I put the first one up, now it's down to 1. Now I put the second one up. Now it's no longer in the, you know, where you can see it right here. Right, we're going to look at Ceratops. All right, so right now you can see here that this is costing me a total of 11,100 DEC as far as what I need staked. And remember, we have about 35,600. So, you know, that's a good, you know, kind of a lower number for this. I'm also going to add the Wizard of Eastwood here. So that's going to jump us up to 21,000. Which will give us only about 15,000 more to use. But we, you know, that's a good, it's a good start for this plot. And so we're going to save this. Now, if I was short DEC as far as the amount I have staked to what I'm going to need, it's going to pull up a sign here before it would go to this confirmation page to be like, are you sure you want to do this? It could trigger a harvest. And that just means like they're telling you to top up a little more DEC here so that your workers that you're putting in are going to be working at the maximum. Because if it is less than the max, the total amount for max working, it's going to force a harvest on all of your plots. Because it now is going to take all of your workers and they're going to be working at less than 100%. So it's going to re-gauge everything. Okay, and we're going to confirm there. And now this next part is the part you need to make sure you focus on the right thing here. So like if you have an occupied land and you want to turn it into shard mine, make sure you click over here. You know, if you want to do a research hut, make sure you click it over here. And you can see that you know, they all take the same amount of time as far as completing and production costs, because that's all based on the actual plot of land, not what you're building on top of it. We are going to do a grain farm for this one. We have no time crystals, so we're just going to build it. And this is telling us that it's going to take 8.5 days with these workers here to clear the plot, which is fine. We're going to build, confirm. And now the building has started. So now you're going to see here, this is just going to be a slow countdown or a slow count up to 1.5 million. It's already started since we just saved it. And that's when that's done, that will finish, that will hit 1.5 million in 8.5 days. All right, so now we're going to pull out of here and do our other plot, our other natural undeveloped common. So same thing on this, we're gonna have to manage. We're gonna have to, since we don't have any cores, we're gonna have to buy one, which is what we saved that 10,000 for those 2 extra cores. Though I may make the decision here to add that extra 5,000 to the DEC land stake so that I can use another 5,000 in workers for this plot. And then we'll start the research plot up in the future. See how this looks now that so now I've started this, but I don't have to save it because I'm going to add the workers. As long as I don't back out of it, that will stay how it is. So, all right, here we go. Now I am going to save it because I actually want to double check the amount of DEC we have to work with. It's 15,000, but so we're just going to click on this plus sign, and now it's going to show us, okay, we're using 21,102 DEC. We've staked 35,640, so we have 14,538 left to use. So 14,538. So let's see here. Putting up Vera Salacia would be 2,400 in production. But as you see here, this Thaddeus is actually a lot less DEC, and it's going to give us half that amount of production. So let's see if we can fill in here with some of these lower cards and actually get more in there. So this Albatross, give us 1,042. So now we're at about 2,300. So we're almost at that level of the Vera, and we're only using a little more than half of the amount of DEC energy that the Vera would cost. We're using 5,551 DEC. So now we still have 8 or 9,000 more to use with these other cards here. So looking here, 7, this is almost a 1-to-1 ratio, which is really good. You can see here these cards are looking at a 4-to-1 ratio for DEC stake to production. This is 9-to-7, so that we like that. Can add that in there. Then we find one more. It's looking like a good value. There's no more that are added pluses because of the land bonuses, but we want to stay away from the red ones because they're definitely not the right plots to use, the right workers to use on this plot. Any other plot, they're going to do double the amount of production for the same costs. So here, go with the Undead Badger. It's about a 2.5-to-1 ratio there. So not terrible. We squeeze one more in here. Pellicore Arbalest, just to fill out that other spot to get a little more, get it going a little faster. We had 14,000 to work here. So we're going to have a little more than 6,000 left. This other 5,000, trying to think if I actually want to take this guy away, add them, and just add the rest to that. So so here, this actually would put me over the amount of DEC that I have staked. So I just want to show you what it's going to show. Warning: staking cards without sufficient dark crystals staked will lower the efficiency of production across the region for all plots and trigger a forced regional harvest. We suggest staking another 3,239 DEC first. Do you want to proceed? So, okay, thanks for letting me know. I'll cancel that. I'll just take that guy off, save the changes like this, where I am underneath. Because if I go to that stake dark crystal page, without saving, it will delete all that work that I've already shown. I do want to build, but before I do that, I'm going to add another worker. So we have 60, about 67, 6,800. We're going to add another 3,300. Now you can see we're using 28,879 and we have 38,940, so we can add a 10,000 production and be under still. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to add this Vera. Actually, I'm going to add the Grenadier. It doesn't have a bonus, but the neutral cards don't have bonuses on any plots. And so this just makes the most sense to use right now. So we're going to add that. Save it. Confirm. Now this one, we don't need 2 green, so we're going to make this one a shard mine, I think. And then the last plot will be a research hut because it is a magical plot. So put this in this, build it. It's going to take 10 and a half days. It's fine. You know, and after 10 and a half days, this plot's going to be fed by the grain on the other plot, and it's going to start producing SPS. So, you know, that's when we did all that setup and we still have 1,700 to do. We still have another plot to do in the future. But with the amount of resources that we had, this just seemed to be like the best approach. You know, with a 50K DEC cap for the video, kind of wanting to show, you know, someone that's, you know, trying to get involved in land, doesn't have unlimited resources, but that it, you know, that there's an approach here that can be reasonable and still, you know, a slow build. You know, I have a region, but I'm slow building it. There's a lot of a couple guys with regions that are, you know, moving much faster than me. But you know, it's just all about slow and steady, like with anything. So hopefully this will give you guys a good comprehensive idea for the startup of land, for those of you who haven't gotten involved with land yet. But this will give you an idea of kind of how to go about setting up your initial plots of land and to get started. I'm going to continue making you know, land videos with this account to keep the stream abreast of its production and any NFTs and SPS that we get from it, and we'll be donating that or finding winners for those prizes that are members of our stream, the Salt Gang. We appreciate y'all. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, notification bell, and we'll see you later.
Much for watching. Here's a couple of videos for you to check out, and of course,
hit that like button and that subscribe button right next to it.
We appreciate you all.
We're having a good time.